Hi Manisha, my name's Devashe and I'll be your interviewer today. So the focus of today's interview will be to explore what participating in team sports means to 18 to 24-year-olds within Australia. As I previously mentioned, all the information we collect today will be kept strictly confidential. Thank you for your voluntary participation and for signing the consent form. So before we start, do you have any questions about the research or your role in the research?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right. So, what team sports have you been a part of?
So I've been playing sport throughout my life, and currently I'm involved in a netball team that I play with.
Oh, that's so cool. So, which one of those team sports that you've played have been your favourite?
Definitely my netball team.
And do you think anything has led to netball in particular being your favourite sport?
I like the competitive nature of it, and I feel because I play with my friends that I've known for a while now, so I think obviously that adds to it being more fun.
Oh, yeah. So, what or who has been your main influence in joining a team sport?
Well, my parents and my family have always played sports throughout my whole life, and that has had like a massive influence on me wanting to play for a team as well, because I've seen how many friends and like lifelong friendships that they've made throughout their life so far because of it.
Okay, that's so true. So in what ways was sports a part of your childhood growing up?
My dad used to coach a hockey team, and I'd have to go and watch and help him out on the field whenever he needed. And my brothers both played soccer as well, so I'd help them out and go for their games and watch them as well.
Wow. So was there any emphasis placed on sports at your school?
I think so, definitely. There was a main focus on volleyball, but from when you first start high school till year 10, I believe, or year 12, I'm not too sure, you have to participate in sport, and it changes sport every semester, so you get to try something new every term.
What sort of impact do you think that playing sports at school had on your perspectives on sports outside of school?
In school, I felt like it was just more of like a fun kind of thing to do, but then out of school, it's a lot more competitive. So I guess it teaches you the basics in school, but then you have to put it into a real perspective when you get out of school.
So would you say that sports has become one of your hobbies, and would you attribute it to playing at school?
Yeah, I would say so. I've definitely learned the basics at school, and then because of that, it's become one of my main interests and my main hobbies since then.
Okay, that's so cool. So do you think playing sports at school impacted you in joining a team sport later on?
I think it had a little bit of an influence for sure, because I didn't play netball before I started in like primary school or something like that. And it just kind of, again, like taught me the basics of the sport, and then I really started to love it throughout the years.
Okay. So in what way do you think your local community influenced what sports you participated in?
So when I'd like drive past, I'd always see families and sporting teams playing on like the parks nearby. So I've always had like an interest when I see them play, which kind of encouraged me as well to take part. When I first moved into my house that I was staying in, I didn't know of any of the local sporting teams till I would see them play and practice. So yeah, they kind of encouraged me to join a team.
That's so cool. So sports was very much a part of the local community growing up.
For sure.
Okay. So how has the amount of time you've invested in sports changed as you've grown up?
Definitely when I was younger, I did it more as like a social kind of aspect, but now still keeping that social aspect in there. I've become a lot more competitive when I play and a lot more serious about my game as well. Obviously, I still enjoy just playing for the sake of it, but it is nice to have a bit of a competitive nature to it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think influenced these changes? Like, would having more commitments in your life change how much time you invested playing sports?
Yeah, I believe so. When you come out of school, you have a lot more free time to invest into your hobbies. So I definitely feel like once I finished school, I was able to really get into playing netball more in a more competitive way as well. So, yeah, definitely it's changed a lot.
Okay. So, how has your perspective on team sports changed as you've grown up?
I've seen it more in like definitely the aspect of like the teamwork bit has changed a lot, because you don't really realize when you're younger like the extent to which having such a strong connection with your team matters, but as you grow up you realize it really, really does, and you get to know each other a lot better, which makes it a lot easier to play with each other as well.
Okay, that makes sense. So what do you think participating in a team sports means to you?
I think it has a lot to do with just having fun and everyone joining in and having a good time and all enjoying a sport that you all share an interest in.
Okay. And what do you think shaped these perspectives?
I've seen my family and like close friends and stuff, and I've seen how they've had such strong friendships and strong groups with people that they've played sport with throughout the years. So that's kind of made me want that.
Okay. So what aspects of your life do you think have been influenced by being part of a team sport?
Definitely friendship-wise, that's changed a lot. I've become a lot closer to the people that I play in a team with. I feel like even communication-wise, because playing a sport requires so much communication and so much just a focus on that, I guess. So you have to really be good at it to be good at a sport that you're playing, especially when it comes to netball. Yeah. I feel like that has had a significant impact as well.
Okay. So as an Australian, what does team sports mean to you?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with like the Australian culture. I don't know the actual number, but I'm sure that the majority of Australians started off playing sport when they were young, and it's just something that you would do as in your free time. You know, you go to the park, you kick a footy or you kick a soccer ball. So yeah, it's definitely like a massive part of Australian culture, and yeah.
So would you say that sport shapes a big part of the Australian identity?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what has influenced your perspectives on team sport?
My dad, for sure. Yeah, my dad plays hockey on a state level, and he's always emphasized to me how important being close with your friends in your team is. You have to be able to get along to play a sport if you wanna win, essentially. So yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think being part of a team sport has influenced your overall perspective on team sports?
Yeah, for sure. You don't really realize how fun it is till you're actually in the game and you're in a team. Because on the outside it just looks like it's like another thing that you're doing or another hobby, but when you're actually in it, you really value the friendships that you make and the people that you get to play with.
How do you think Australia views team sports?
I think Australia has a very high regard for team sports. I think Australia is quite well known for having very athletic people, and we always do well overall as a nation. So I think we've put that into a very high regard.
So how do you feel about Australia's view on team sports?
I feel like Australia's definitely got a very positive view on team sports. We definitely encourage it, and even just in high school, even not in a sports regard, but just overall, everyone emphasizes on the need for team building and teamwork skills. So, and that comes into play when you play sports as well.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to add to what we've discussed today?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. It's good chatting to you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.